you know, it's, you straight. Like, I'm 15, 16 years old. And she laying on the couch. And I'm sitting on the other end, and she laid down on the couch and put her head in my lap. I'm like, damn. He came talking about Mary. He's talking about she wanted me to come back up here, and now she on my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, what is this gonna end up to? And she stayed a couple more hours. And we decided to go in the other room because it was sweet. We went in another room and lay down. And she lay down with me, and she kind of like backed up against me. And every time she backed up against me, I would move away and shit, you know?
Danny Boy just dropped some serious bombshells, bringing forward major receipts accusing Diddy and Mary J. Blige of pulling him into a threesome when he was only 15. Rumors are swirling that Danny might be next to testify in Diddy's upcoming trial. And let's be real, there have been whispers for years about multiple celebrities supporting Diddy and being involved in his questionable activities. Well, now Mary J. Blige is allegedly one of them. And if you believe what Danny is saying, he wasn't the only young person she got involved with. But if you think it stops there, hold on, because Danny is also claiming Mary got pregnant by Diddy during their secret encounters, and that Diddy allegedly forced her to end the pregnancy. So now the question is, was Mary manipulated, or was she playing along? And was she seeing Danny Boy behind Tupac's back? This story is absolutely wild, so let's unpack it. People have been saying that once Diddy's skeletons started falling out of the closet, it was only a matter of time before other big names got exposed too. And now that theory seems to be playing out, as Mary J. Blige's name is being dragged into the mess, and it's not looking good. Danny Boy, former artist, under Death Row Records, has been giving interviews lately, and he's not holding back. He claims that when he was just 15, Mary, who was 24, pursued a relationship with him. What's even more shocking, Danny says Diddy knew all about it, and may have even helped make it happen. He describes the music industry back then as a place where powerful adults set the rules, and younger artists had no protection. Danny traces everything back to 1995, right after the Source Awards. There was a hotel after-party going on, and a lot of big names were in the rooms. Mary J. Blige, Diddy's ex Misa Hilton, and other women from the inner circle. Danny says he was chilling in his own room when someone called him, inviting him, said to come join the party. When he walked in and saw Mary J. Blige, he was completely starstruck. He'd admired her for years. He stayed for a bit, had some drinks with everyone, and then went back to his room. But a little later, someone from the party called again and told him a woman wanted to see him. Thinking it might be one of the other women from earlier, he headed over. But when he opened the door, the only people inside were Mary and Misa.
We was talking, I think I left out, and Suge called me back up to the room. He said, come back upstairs, you know. Old girl wants to see you. This old girl. I think I'm one of the other girls. Mary's sitting on the couch. So I know the girl that he in the bed with. I mean, so I went in, he closed the door and shit, and I sit down and I start talking to Mary. And inside, I'm about to lose it, because I'm actually sitting here talking to Mary. She's sitting on the couch and shit, and we ordered some food and some more drinks.
Danny said that while he was sitting on the couch with Mary, things took a sudden turn when a knock came at the door. He admitted he got nervous, but Mary seemed even more on edge, panicking and hiding, convinced it might be her then-boyfriend, K-Ty. Their relationship was notoriously rocky at the time, filled with drama and even rumors of violence, so she probably thought he was coming to cause a scene. Or worse. But the tension eased when they realized it was just a false alarm. Once Mary knew it wasn't Casey, Danny says she immediately went back to flirting like nothing had happened. He recalled her resting her head on his lap, gently touching him, and from there, things escalated fast. According to Danny, the situation quickly got intense and crossed the line before he fully knew what was happening.
I'm like, damn. He came talking about Mary. He's talking about she wanted me to come back up here, and now she on my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, what is this going to end up to? And she stayed a couple more hours. And we decided to go in the other room because it was sweet. We went in another room and lay down. And she lay down with me, she kind of like backed up against me, and every time she backed up against me, I would move away and shit, you know?
Danny claimed that things eventually went all the way, and the two ended up sleeping together that night. But as troubling as that already sounds, it didn't end there. According to him, what started as a one-night situation turned into a full-on secret affair. He said Mary would fly him out to New York just to spend time with her, keeping their connection hidden from everyone. What made it even more complicated was how she allegedly made him feel like he was her actual boyfriend. Danny said he truly believed they were in a serious relationship, completely unaware that Mary was also romantically involved with both Tupac and KT during that same time.
From that time, I had an opportunity to go out to New York and visit her a couple more times. But, you know, that's why I was kind of confused when I heard Kurt saying that Mary was popular. Because at that time, she was my girl. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in to see her. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you young, and I'm trying to show her that she ain't phasing me.
Even after all this, he still insists that they were dating, and it wasn't just a fling to him, even though it's now clear that Mary did not feel the same way.
You were early on, you was messing with Mary.
Well,
okay,
you know,
how did you think about that?
That time I wasn't.
You know, I know what I'm saying,
I was, but it wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. How did you think? Like, what did you feel like? Okay, yeah, I like Mary, or you just was like, well, she taking advantage of you because you were young.
No, I mean, you know, that was Mary
Because she
J.
was
Blige.
young too.
She was young too, and that was Mary J. Blige. And when I brought that story up, because a lot of people thought that I was like trying to Me Too. I mean, I wouldn't use her. I got somebody I could Me Too if I want to, but it would be Mary. I said it in the conversation of, somebody else was saying how Mary was somebody's girl, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, no, it wasn't. No.
Danny thought he was in a real relationship, but that's when things took a wild turn. According to him, Mary didn't come up with all of this on her own. He claimed she learned the behavior from none other than Diddy. Back in the day, Mary and Diddy were extremely close. He was working at Uptown Records, and she was one of the label's rising stars. Looking back, that relationship raises serious questions. Several people have accused Diddy of misconduct during his Uptown days, and Danny claimed Diddy actually encouraged him to get involved with Mary, when Danny hesitated to be intimate with her. Diddy allegedly pressured him, even threatening to ruin his career if he didn't comply. Danny believes this was the real reason his music career slowed down. He said he got tired of being treated like a toy, always available at their beck, and flown in whenever they wanted to get freaky. Sound familiar? Because this lines up with the stories Cassie and others have told about being ordered to fly out at a moment's notice and forced to give in to Diddy's demands. Based on Danny's claims, Diddy's behavior goes way back to the early 90s. And considering he ran Puffy's flavor camp full of young men, it's disturbing. We'll unpack this more because it's one wild situation after another. What also adds credibility to Danny's story is the long friendship between Mary and Diddy. If you thought Diddy and Jay-Z were tight, Diddy and Mary were inseparable. Since the early 90s, they've been close. Diddy produced Mary's debut album, What's the 411, and always praised her talent. In one interview, he said, "Mary J. Blige is one of the greatest storytellers in R&B. She gave women everywhere a voice. More than being my sister and best friend, she's a pioneer and queen of hip-hop soul who can achieve anything." But by the late 90s, things between them took a dark turn. Their bond broke down completely, and they stopped speaking. Eventually, Mary admitted the fallout was on her. She said she was in a dark place, struggling with addiction, unable to manage her personal or professional life. That honesty helped mend their friendship. Mary later said, "The real reason we split was me not understanding the business. I was a mess on drugs. Any smart man would have backed away." She said Diddy had other artists to manage, and she wasn't reliable. But that's not where the story ends. Rumors began swirling that Diddy got Mary pregnant and forced her to terminate the pregnancy. Danny alleged that their interactions weren't respectful or loving. He even claimed Diddy forced Mary to use a strap-on during their encounters and didn't want the baby when she became pregnant, forcing her to get rid of it. Danny said the trauma from that experience left her so shaken that she never wanted kids again. Mary hinted at this in an interview, saying, "I have nieces and nephews, but I enjoy my freedom. I don't want to always be tending to someone. That's where I'm at, and I don't think kids are in my future." Despite all this, Mary stayed close to Diddy for years. So when she recently distanced herself, People were confused. It seemed like they'd moved on, but suddenly she was acting like they were never that close. According to insiders, it's because the feds are digging deep into Diddy's past, and some of that heat could be coming her way. People say she's trying to protect herself by cutting ties now. One major concern? Her affair with Danny Boy. While the statute of limitations may protect her from legal trouble, public exposure could still damage her reputation, especially given the allegations that she and Diddy involved a teenager in their secret lifestyle. And just when you think things couldn't get more explosive, new reports are suggesting that Mary might know what really happened to Aaliyah. There's speculation that Diddy and his crew might have known something too. Aaliyah's death was ruled a tragic plane crash, but rumors have long suggested there was more to it than just an accident. Many people don't realize that Aaliyah was never supposed to be in the Bahamas that day. The original plan was to film her music video in Florida. Everything was set. But at the last minute, director Hype Williams suddenly changed the location to the Bahamas without even clearing it with Aaliyah first. Once they arrived, everything seemed to go smoothly, and the shoot wrapped up earlier than expected. But because they finished ahead of schedule, no return flight had been arranged. Aaliyah reached out to her friend Lenny Kravitz, who generously offered to send his private jet for her. That's when things took a strange turn. Hype Williams reportedly blocked her from boarding Lenny's plane, saying he had already made alternate arrangements for her and the crew. When the flight he arranged finally arrived, it was far too small and dangerously overloaded for the number of passengers and equipment on board. To make things worse, the pilot was allegedly under the influence at the time. Aaliyah reportedly sensed something was off and initially refused to board. However, some reports claim she was given a sedative and carried onto the plane while unconscious. Tragically, shortly after takeoff, the overloaded aircraft crashed, killing Aaliyah and everyone else on board. Mary J. Blige has often spoken about Aaliyah's passing in a way that suggests deeper meaning. Not long after the tragedy, she publicly expressed her belief that Aaliyah's death was spiritual in nature and hinted that the full truth may never have been told.
You know what I'm saying? I was a spiritual, whether people know it or not, because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. You know? I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof, you know what I'm saying, for what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I believe it wasn't her time to go, because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, you know, your gut always warns you. Just like your gut never lies to you. And something like luggage and clothes and jewelry and all this madness that we worship is called false idols. We need to really look at the bigger picture right now.
Back then, Mary J. Blige never publicly named anyone, but those close to the situation claimed she believed Diddy may have been connected to what happened to Aaliyah. Industry whispers suggested Diddy stood to gain millions from Aaliyah's passing, and the unsettling rumor that she may have been drugged before boarding the plane eerily aligns with similar stories from women who have accused Diddy of assault. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, there's ongoing speculation that Aaliyah had damaging information on both Diddy and R. Kelly. It's widely known that R. Kelly manipulated Aaliyah into marrying him when she was just 15. If she really held incriminating details about both of them, especially with everything coming to light about Diddy, it's not far-fetched to think there may be truth buried in those rumors. Mary was deeply connected to Diddy, but she made it clear she had cut ties. She even posted on Instagram saying, "Unfortunately, a lot of you met me when I lacked boundaries and was a people pleaser. Let me reintroduce myself. I burn bridges as needed." Given the accusations surrounding her, including alleged involvement in Diddy's freak-offs, it's no surprise she wants to distance herself. And keep in mind, Danny Boy's story isn't the only one. Mary has also been tied to other, alleged freaky situations involving Diddy and others. There's clearly a lot to unpack here, and this may only be the beginning. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out the next video.